I am chilling with my best friend Sam. I am chilling with my best friend Sam.
Hi.
Hi. The thing that I don't get about the selfie stick is like everyone's like, oh, you gotta put it up there, but like
That looks so much better. We look really healthy, dude.
I feel like we should record the whole podcast again.
Oh my god, no. You just need to we should be recording. Are you recording this right now? Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh dude. I'm Asian blushing. What was I saying? I was saying something.
Sam was working out today on the bicycle.
On the stationary bike at the gym while Mariah was at yoga. Because I didn't want to go to yoga because that's not
Hardcore enough.
hardcore enough for me today. And I biked like 20 miles really hard uphill and did intervals. And I felt really good about it. And I got off the bike and I was like covered in sweat and I felt really fucking hot. And I got off the bike and then the skinny white girl that's always at my gym walks by. And she lifts weights and shit, but she's just she's a skinny white girl, whatever. And she walks by me and she's like, "Yas, queen."
Yas, queen, yas.
Yas. Still, she's wearing makeup and whatever. I'm not gonna be there to police what people do at the gym. People should do whatever the fuck they want at the gym. Seriously.
Yes, queen.
I turn my eyes off when I'm at the gym. I don't even look at people unless they're really hot and I can't help it. But she walked by and said that, and all I heard was that, I heard "Oh, good job, brown fatty." I didn't hear anything empowering. I heard consolation for being not the status quo, and all I heard is "I wouldn't trade ya." Good job. I don't know. It was just super fake.
Yeah.
It made me want to pick her up and throw her out the window.
Which you probably could.
I definitely would.
Okay, I think it started with for real black people and maybe people whose bodies don't fit the status quo.
I just mean the reason white people are saying it to me is because of Broad City.
I see.
That's what I mean.
Possibly.
Sure, everything is, African American words. These
Yeah,
are
all culture starts with
all
African
of it.
American words.
Yeah. Everything that we say, all of the funny, things that we say,
yeah.
A lot of them are from black culture, but
right,
I
and
feel
a lot of them are from black culture trying to prove that they are worthy of existing and being alive.
Totally.
And
and they say it to each other.
Yeah, feeling good about themselves regardless of the fact that all of society is projecting all of the bullshit that we do onto black people.
Dude, and if some brown girl who's more like me would have said that to me, I would have been hell yeah, bitch, we're hard as fuck. But it was that she was saying it to me, it just made me feel even further away from her because she thinks that I'm licking her asshole.
Uh-huh.
I think I'm crying to be her, and I'm oh my god, she approved of me and said yes.
Or I think it's more annoying because she thinks she's down, she thinks she gets it. If you're saying yes, queen, it's almost you understand the struggle of the people that originally had to call themselves queens to assure themselves that they too were worthy of being alive and being valued, So for someone who's just given that on a silver platter, day in, day out, every moment of their goddamn lives,
I feel they don't
to
get
say,
to say that.
To say something.
Yeah, it's not about women booing each other up, even though, this is my own shitty shit too.
Yeah, of course.
It's my own sludge that I'm working through also.
It's shown a light on the gulf between your guys' experiences. That even as we try to lift up things that are not the status quo, the fact of the status quo and what's considered attractive and what's considered desirable still exists.
Yeah. And that makes me wonder, what could that human being say to me that would make me feel good and validated? And if we were in the locker rooms, and she could turn to me and say something wow, I noticed that you just rode 20 miles. That's crazy. Good job. I could never do that.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
That would make me feel good.
Yeah, to be very just down to earth and acknowledge the actual thing that you did.
Or just say you have a lot of endurance, girl. Or something like that.
Something specific.
Yeah.
I think something that's actually about you.
I think compliments are best when they are specific.
Absolutely.
Like that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it just creates too much space for us to fill in our own
Blanks.
chatter.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. That goes for all the boys out there too.
Yeah, the more specific you can be with your compliments, the better. I think the reason I want to be a skinny white girl is so that I don't have to think about it. So that shit's effortless. That I can just like put
You can
on
focus on
any
other
clothes.
things.
Yeah, I just could be fucking free.
Yeah.
I could be free. Like so much of my time and energy goes into
Girl, yes.
trying to do shit, into like beating myself up for not doing shit, just thinking about it. Just like I don't even like how much time I spend thinking about
It
it.
gives me a headache to even think about it.
Right?
I couldn't agree more.
That's the only reason why I want to be that, is just to be free. To like be able to have all that time and energy for myself.
That's cool. I just want to be that so I can like... I mean, it's another kind of freedom, but it's like... So I can just not hate myself all the time.
Yeah.
You know? So I can not be this sort of like lovable, self-hating person that I've been for so long. I'm so sick of that identity, dude. I'm so sick of it. It's like,
oh my
Sam.
God.
It's like become my identity. It like sucks.
I don't
want to.
All right. So I'm on this tip about authentic desire, right? And my friend Brian said something I really like. He said if you line up a bunch of women and dress them all the same, like in like a little like, you know, identify the criminal lineup sort of thing, and you asked women to say who was the most attractive of those women, asked straight women to say who's the most attractive of those women, all the women would just choose the skinniest because they don't have genuine sexual desire. And so in that space, they just input whatever society tells them is attractive.
Which I already don't agree with, but continue.
But I think it's an interesting idea that like society gives us this template of like a skinny white woman, and we're just like placing it over people, and how closely they conform to that outline determines the level to which we think that they are attractive or desirable. Whereas if you had that lineup and you had a bunch of people who were sexually attracted to women deciding who they thought was the most attractive, it would be different, because people's like actual sexual desire is more variable than society tells us. And it's not just choosing between like dark skinny white women and blonde skinny white women, or like stick skinny white women and skinny white women with TNA. That there's like actually like a much more diverse thing. For me to maintain like my faith and optimism from the world, I have to believe that even though we live in a point where we can't separate out what society has conditioned us to find attractive from what we truly find desirable, especially, you know, you think of like the neurological pathways that are created every time we orgasm to pornography, and that it creates a link to the visual stimulus associated with our pleasure. Mm-hmm. You know, I think there's a certain extent to which we're never going to know the answer to this question of what would we be attracted to if there wasn't media, if there wasn't society. But I just have to believe that it would be something way more interesting, way more wild, and way more specific and unique than just everyone being attracted to the skinniest, like whitest looking person, or like the narrow pool around that trope.
I don't see like what the point of it is, though, to know what it would be like. This is the world we live in. We're never going to escape it, and it's like has serious consequences for women who don't fit that status quo. And I just like, I guess like I just am hopeless in that sense. Mm-hmm. Is that I know that it's not going to be escaped, and you know, we can have all of these discussions about the fact that like curvy women are, you know, that primordially like men would be more, well, who cares, you know, they're not.
But that's still playing the same game of tit for tat. I mean, I know that that's the world we live in, and that's my like need for idealism and optimism to believe that we're moving to a world that transcends that, where we can all get in touch with like the like true weird, you know, nature of our genuine attraction, our authentic desire, and that it will lead to a much more...
I think the authentic desire is for like, you know, I'm gonna have to go with like science for this stuff. It's whatever, it's like well-placed fat pockets on the body and like a skinny waist
And symmetry.
And symmetry. Yeah. I really do think that. Sad but true.
In a flat, boring world. But even animals have variability. And
Animals are attracted to the most basic shit, dude.
yeah,
They're
but
attracted to like the one that can mate.
but then that would be different. Then that would be different.
How would it be different? They'd be attracted to the healthiest one,
Right.
which is like not a super fat person. It's not a super skinny person.
Right. And it would be attracted. You know how they did all of those studies? First of all, I'm not a scientific reductionist. I really feel like science is constantly changing, and it's
Sure,
like,
totally.
you know, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
But there was a study that I read that said that women are often attracted by scent, and it's because our noses are very good at actually smelling the genetics of our potential mating partner. And so we can snoot out what genetics would be beneficially paired with our own.
Sure. I'm sure there's, yeah. That makes sense too.
Mm-hmm.
But still, like, health.
Yeah. I think physical health and like a successful survival strategy.
Right.
Which is the only reason why I say wealth.
But successful survival strategy is what before we had this shit, it was correlated to like your physical ability, your health.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, totally.
Survivability is like very much correlated to like your physical ability to escape danger and to acquire survival resources.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. And it's just in this day and age that wealth determines our ability to acquire survival resources.
Monetary wealth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which I think is why you have all these young men like feeling all disenfranchised, is because probably if like the systems that weren't in place and hadn't put them in a structurally disadvantageous position generation after generation,
Yeah.
they'd be top of the totem pole.
Totally.
Health-wise.
Totally.
And instead they're like,
Yeah.
you know, on the bottom and angry about it and looking for people to blame that anger on. The other idea I had is, like, obviously sex is really powerful, right? It's like one of the most powerful forces that we come up against as human beings. And I think that's why there's so much policing around it and so much just like interest, man. Like, fucking, you can live your whole life just thinking about sex and attraction and never get bored.
True.
And fucking, I had this idea where like everyone says like women are these money grubbers, that they're looking for men and are willing to give their sexuality to men who can provide them with physical safety. But I think it's the opposite. I think so much of what women are looking for and why they're so turned off by needy, insecure men is because they're looking for a man who's strong enough to be able to hold the sexual power coming through them. And just like the physical manifestation of that in just the like regular life is a man who has like wealth and status and all that stuff. But it's flipped. The origin of it is actually looking for someone who can hold
Their sexual power.
yes.
Yeah.
Without being an insecure little needy bitch about it and getting like all down on themselves.
Yeah. I don't think you should put this on this podcast. I'm sorry. Ew. Make my dick so soft.